Have you heard about Anchor? It is the easiest way to start a podcast. Let me explain. It is free and has creation tools to help you record and edit from your phone or computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and many more. Plus, you can earn money with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to get started. So what are you waiting for? Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Welcome to Get Ready for the Dress. I am your host, Coach J. I am so excited to have you here with me going through this journey. We're going to laugh, cry. We're going to share life experience, have fun in the process. We're going to build a powerful, beautiful sisterhood right here in this safe place where we can share all of life experience, talk about any and everything, whatever dress you may be facing. It could be a marriage, divorce, single parent, loneliness, singleness. I am here as your host. Thank you for joining us. Well, I want to thank you for joining me here at Get Ready for the Dress. I want you to introduce yourself, let us know what service you offer, and we'll get started.
Awesome. Well, first, let me say thank you for inviting me to be here. I'm grateful and excited to be here. My name is Jenequa Eldridge, and I am a certified professional coach, specifically certified by Gallup in strengths. So my philosophy is based on the StrengthsFinder Clifton Strengths Assessment. It's all about, rather than trying to focus on weakness fixing, we look at those areas that you are innately gifted, and we coach you as to how to put those gifts, those talents, and develop them into strength so they can serve you successfully on a daily basis in your personal life, in your work life, whether it's professional advancement or just trying to, live the best life that you can live. We take the focus away from weakness fixing and teach individuals how to leverage their strengths. So I get to have a great time every day getting people to see the best of themselves. So I have the most fabulous opportunity to serve for me. I take great joy in doing it.
So would you say you're working in your purpose?
Absolutely. By nature, I am a developer. So that's one of my top 5 talent themes or strength themes, and I live in that strength on a daily basis. For me, I get great satisfaction and joy out of helping individuals to become the best that they can be. My philosophy is that no matter if I meet you in the grocery store, or if we run into each other at a football game, or if you're an individual that I'm working with or a corporation that I'm working with, my goal is to leave you better than how I found you. So that's the...
Oh, that's okay. How long have you been working as a strength coach?
I was certified in 2000. I was certified with Gallup in 2014, and I started my coaching practice, my individual independent coaching practice, in 2016.
Okay, so you have your own office. I mean, you work, I don't want to say clinic, but
I'm an independent consultant.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, good. So what is your ideal client? Is that a corporation? Is that an individual?
Now so I do both, but my focus is corporations or businesses. My extreme passion is working with teams to help, whether they are teams that show up in the corporate world, teams that show up in the nonprofit world, any place that there is interaction of individuals that are working together to a common goal. That's my sweet spot, so to speak, is working with those individuals so they can identify their individual talents, but then also understand the strengths of their teammates so that they can leverage what shows up across the board throughout the entire team to meet their goals, meet their production goals, meet the value for their clients and those kinds of things. Now, I do individual coaching as well, but my sweet spot is working with those teams, either in a corporate setting or another kind of organizational setting.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because you're working in your purpose and and you love it. How did you know that was your purpose? How did you branch out into that? What were you doing before this?
Okay, so that I love this question because what I have always done, no matter where I was, I've had a career of well over 20 years of working in the corporate world and even in municipal type settings.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what my position was, whether I was a project manager or the production supervisor or the executive assistant, or literally, no matter what my position was, I always found a way. And I didn't even realize that I was doing this until 2014 is when I became really cognizant of my pattern. But no matter where I was, what organization, I always found myself collaborating with whatever training department, if it was an L&D department, and I've never worked in any capacity in any organization or corporation that I've ever worked with. I've never worked for the training department or in the learning and development department, but I always find myself gravitating towards those people to find out what they're doing for professional or personal development within the organization. And the reason that it became super apparent in my last position is because there was nobody in my division doing any personal development at all. So when I went on my, natural search, the thing that I always do, when I went on that search, I discovered there was no one doing it for my division. And so I went and I spoke to, in that particular organization, it happened to be the CFO. And I went and in that division, so I went and I spoke with the CFO and I said, we really need to invest in some sort of professional development in our division. We need to look at that. What have you guys done in the past for professional development? What have you guys done? And we started a very candid conversation. And I actually started a program in our division for professional development. And one of the things that I did was a book study. And one of the books that we did was StrengthsFinder 2.0. And when I introduced that book study to our division, introduced that book for our book study in our division, I fell in love with the strengths philosophy. And the rest is history. That's how I went on. That's how I went and started this particular journey. But when I went back to look, it was really interesting to me that I have always gravitated. I remember I worked with a Fortune 500 organization when I was in college, and I was really a basic hourly employee. But I remember very specifically that when we would have to do our trainings, that I went and asked the person that was the trainer if I could come back when my shift was over just to talk about the training process and the material that they were using, and to tell them, to talk about, how they could incorporate some more interactive learning in there. And I never, ever thought about it. I mean, it was just something, and of course I had the chat with the individuals. We created a relationship, but I never worked in a training capacity in that organization. It's just, always been something that I've gravitated towards. So
that's awesome. So walk me through, if you were a day, what it looks like to take on your first day at a corporation. I mean, what would that look like?
The first day that I would meet with individuals in a corporation?
Yes.
Okay. So if I'm going to work with a team, I first start with leadership. The first thing that I'd like to do in an organization is find out who the strengths champion is. Who's the person that's going to carry the torch in that organization? Who's the person that is going to be the passionate leader to decide that you are going to carry out your production, your work, whatever your service or whatever it is that you're providing from a place of strength? So the first thing is I identify who that individual is, and I expose them to the assessment so that they can identify and discover what their innate strengths are, what their innate talents are, so that we can develop them into strengths. And then from there, we go and we explore the talents of the team. But the first thing that I'm going to do is, on that very, very first day, is identify who that champion is in that organization. Who's going to be the person that's going to carry that strengths torch, and who's going to, lead their team to strength. Whether it's the manager, supervisor, lead person, sometimes it's somebody that's at an executive level. It varies depending on, of course, the team and what kind of team it is.
Well, that's the first thing. Okay. And then after that, we expose the remainder of the team to the assessment, and we start the process of coaching those individuals together and helping them to identify their own talents. So we do a workshop. Sometimes those workshops are a half day. Sometimes they're a full day. We get in and we really do work on discovering, like digging deep into who's showing up on that team, what talents they have. We have what talents each person has individually, start to understand and create a language around strengths and understanding what it means to leverage the strengths and talents of others, those kinds of things, so that we can create a cohesiveness and really unleash the superpowers of those individuals that are on that team. So how do you know who will be the leader, the strong, bring the strength? How do you pick that person? I mean, is it a method you go through, or is it an interview? How do you?
Normally within an organization, it is, it's not normally me that would determine who that champion is. Normally within the organization, they have the person that is kind of leading that team. So whether it's the manager of that team, whether it's the supervisor of that team, whether it's the executive of, the executive person of that particular team. Like, I've worked with some organizations where I'm working with the executive team. So maybe it's the vice president, or maybe so it just, it depends on the makeup of the team. It's normally going to be the person that is the leader on that team.
Okay. So, that's really good. What challenges have you run into, doing this? I mean, not even picking a leader, but, going through this process. What kind of challenges have you ran into?
The largest challenge, is pretty much the challenge that everyone is facing right now, which is making the pivot to a complete and total virtual experience. With the pandemic, of course, I'm not able to go into organizations and work with them, in their organizations face to face. So I've had to work to pivot so that I can create a virtual experience that will allow me to facilitate the same level of and provide the same experience in a virtual setting. So that's been, but I'm sure that's the challenge for pretty much everyone right now.
Yep, yes. Exactly.
But I've been able to do that. I've created a virtual space. I'm grateful that I was able to pivot pretty quickly so that I can provide that experience for the individuals that I serve. So it's exciting to be able to do that, especially now, because what's happening, especially now, is any challenges, because it's my job to strategically enable organizations to deal with their challenges. So no matter what the challenges are, we deal with them from a place of strength. So it's always exciting when you're able to quickly pivot to deal with your own internal challenges. So that's been something that's really been exciting for me, so that I'm able to deliver, because this is a time where organizations are dealing with extreme challenges in communication, in production, in maintaining accountability, in collaboration. Like organizations and teams are stretched right now to their limits, and this is a time that everyone can use an opportunity to pivot and refocus on being able to serve their client, whomever that may be. So I'm grateful that we are in a position to help organizations deal with the challenges that are coming up right now.
Yeah, that's true. And I totally agree with you. So do you have a team that works for you, like people that works for you, or you're solo, or
Yeah, I'm a solopreneur. So I do, however, sometimes solicit, if the organization is large that I'm dealing with, then I do have some people that I can lean on and bring in to help with administrative kind of things. But as far as facilitating the coaching sessions, the trainings, and the workshops, that's me.
That's really good. That's good. So, and you're in Dallas, right? Or Dallas-Fort Worth area, right?
Yes, I am.
So what is the largest company you worked with?
The largest
organization in the company.
The largest company or the largest team?
Both.
Okay, so I can give you numbers. So because of the type of work that I do, the larger organizations, I'm not really allowed to tell.
Totally understand. Numbers are
right?
good.
Right? So I've worked with a team from it was a team of 10. They were consultants, but they were from a Fortune 500 organization that has thousands of employees globally. They're a global organization, and I worked with a team within that organization. As far as delivering, I do workshops all the time. So sometimes my workshops, they may have 200 or 300 people in the workshop, but that's not with me working with each individual there individually. I'm presenting, I'm presenting information from a strength perspective, but sometimes, I'm always going to talk about strengths no matter what any organization brings me in to talk about. It's always going to come from a place of strength. But I do, time management, professional communication seminars and those kinds of things. So if I'm brought in by an organization to do those kinds of things, those kinds of workshops or those kinds of seminars, it could be 200-300 people in the room for the workshop. So it just depends.
Okay.
What it says in my my bio is that I'm just as comfortable, because of my background, I'm just as comfortable on the production floor as I am in the boardroom or, on the stage, because depending on, what the challenge is that particular organization is facing is going to be what I'm going to be delivering to them.
Yeah, exactly. So your most companies find you, or you go and present to them to work with them? Most
of the organizations that I've worked with so far have come from referrals. So it's an organization that I've worked with one organization, and somebody either saw or heard and they came to me. I also have a website, and I am also on LinkedIn. So there have been a couple, individuals that have found me on those avenues. But the majority of people that find me because I was referred to them by another individual or another organization or that nature. And I've even had some people that, I've had a couple of individuals who are involved in multiple organizations. So especially in the nonprofit world. So they're working with this particular nonprofit, and I'll come in and I'll work with that nonprofit for something. And then they'll say, but I also volunteer, or I'm on the board of this other nonprofit. Would you come in, would you come in and work with us? So that's also happened. So it just.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Word of mouth is really good. Really good.
It is. I mean, so it's not the best way to do business, but it is because I think it's important for entrepreneurs out there or solopreneurs out there that are listening, that it's important to have some sort of marketing plan, and word of mouth can be your marketing plan. Like I want to make sure that I'm not advocating that. It's just that if you're asking me how most people find me at this point, that's how it's happening right now for the most part. But
yeah. No, I agree with you. We got to have a marketing plan. I mean, we can't just word of mouth is good. That means you did a very good job, or they were pleased with you to refer you. But you definitely have to have a marketing plan, especially in this day and time.
Absolutely.
I totally agree with you. I had a question on the tip of my
I'm sorry. I probably made you.
No, you're good, girl. You're good. You do. It was a question about, where do you want to see your business in the next 2 to 5 years?
So, I think it's really interesting. I would love to get to a point to where I am serving especially in this area, in the North Texas area. I would love to be synonymous with strengths focused in corporations. So whenever anybody's thinking about, when anybody in the corporate world or organizational world is thinking about professional or personal type development for their organizations around strengths, I want Jenequa Eldridge to be the person that they think about for serving in that particular capacity.
That's good. That's good. You want to be high on demand.
Yes, I'd like for people to know that I'm here to serve in that arena, that I'm the person that's your strength strategist. So I'm going to help you strategically align your strengths up with your challenges, to meet your challenges, and to help you to deliver your successes in your organization or in your corporation.
That's good. That's good. So have you done any work outside of the state of Texas?
I have done I've done some work in Kansas and Tennessee, Oklahoma. I've done work on outside of Texas.
That's good. In case anybody asks, they know that you're willing to leave the state of Texas
Absolutely.
to, you know.
Absolutely.
That's, you never know. You never know where, you know, who will be listening or where your next client will be, right?
Absolutely. You're exactly right.
Let them know your doors and your mind is open. That is great. So, what would you tell someone that is looking for, like, if I was going to refer you, what would you tell me to, you know, how would I refer you out other than saying that you're a strength coach? How would I refer you? And I'm saying this so whoever is listening may want to refer you, so they, you know, we can know the right terms and stuff to say.
Yes, I think the best way is to think of me as a corporate strength strategist. So, any challenge that an organization or a team is facing, whether it's a challenge in communication, it's a challenge in productivity, it's a challenge in collaboration, it's a challenge in low morale, it's a challenge because most challenges in the corporate world come from engagement issues.
Mm-hmm.
And giving people the tools that they need to be able to deliver it from a place of strength every day is going to automatically increase the engagement of each and every employee in the workplace. Mm-hmm. And so I think if you think of me as a strategist, the person that's going to be able to help to utilize strengths to come up with the strategy to help to deliver you from your challenges or to help meet your challenges, I think that's the best way in lay terms to talk about what I do and what I bring with my services.
That's my next question. So you a strategist, and what's going to be unique about you versus another strategist?
Because I'm going to come from a place of strength.
Okay, place of strength.
I'm coming from a place of strength because I tell every organization that I work with is that you don't need anything from the outside to get where it is that you wanted to go. You can meet your goals with what you have. The idea, like you have the personnel, you have the team that you need. Mm-hmm. It's not about you going out and finding, hiring that next person or getting that next person on your team. You've got what you need on your team. It's just a matter of understanding how to leverage what you have on your team, who you have on your team, the abilities, the gifts, and the talents that you have on your team to get you to where it is that you're trying to get, to help you achieve your communication goals, your production goals, whatever they are. It's already there. And so what I'm going to do is empower your team to be able to deliver your success.
That's good. Okay, so any final words, any words of encouragement that you can leave my audience with?
I think that it's important to understand that I know I've been talking a lot about teams and organizations, but I think it's important that individuals understand that the strengths philosophy comes from a place of personal strength. So not only does every team and every organization have exactly what they need in order to be able to achieve their ultimate success, but so does every individual. Every person has exactly what they need within them to achieve their desired and ultimate success. It's only a matter of identifying what your innate gifts and talents are and developing those talents into strengths so they can deliver the success that you want in your life. The idea that you need to go out and try to gain something or fix weaknesses is a very counterproductive philosophy. If you will decide that you want to live your life from a place of strength, then you will always be actively engaged, and you have the opportunity to live a very purposeful life, because then you'll be walking in your gifts and in your strength. So I think it's important to understand that this philosophy translates not only to organizations, but it also translates personally, which is why I will never stop doing individual coaching, even though I focus on organizations and corporations. It's really important for everyone to understand that you've got everything you need within you. You just need to make sure that you expend the energy and invest in discovering and identifying what your talents are so that you can build them into strengths to live your best life.
I totally agree with you on that. And thank you. Thank you for taking the 30 minutes with me to let me interview you. I am going to share your information on in the description of the podcast and also on my blog. So if anyone wants to contact you, the information will be there, and it's also going to be on my blog. And my blog is found on Google, so I am getting traffic on it. So you will be, and then I'm going to actually promote you on all my social media handle and some of my private groups too. So I really appreciate you taking the time, letting me interview you joining me here at Get Ready for the Dress. So this was really good. I actually learned something. I'm like, wow, I need to dig deep into this.
Awesome. Well, I'll be happy to help you to start your journey into strength, because it's the best. It's the only way to live. It's the only way to live. Weakness fixing can, it can help you to get a certain way, but you're not going to be able to really live your best life until you unleash your strength.
I am definitely interested. So definitely we will be we're going to continue on talking, because I have your contact, you have my contact.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So thank you, and you have an amazing, great weekend, and I will text you once I've released this on Monday morning. I'll text you. It'll be ready Sunday, so I'll text you the information.
That
okay?
Sounds good to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
I'm gonna do it. You do the same.
I sure will. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Season 2, episode 3 with Jenequa was powerful. The best investment are the ones you make in yourself. Few of us take advantage of this. The only way to continue growing personally and professionally is to find your strength and live in it daily. Investing in a strength coach is the way to your happiness, your security, and your well-being. This is the time to find your power, ladies, and live in your strength. This was a great interview. She's a powerhouse as a strength coach. So ladies, if you are looking for a strength coach, go to my blog or look her up in the description of this podcast and look her up and get connected, because she is powerful. She has a lot of great reviews. I was so honored to interview her. So I look forward to your feedback here. Your feedback on the interview, and not only that, connecting with her. Follow her on her social media page. All that information is on my on my blog, and it's also going to be in the description. Thank you.